Close brace. For JavaScript developers, by JavaScript developers. When last we left off, we'd gotten Mongoose installed and built a simple data model, our user object, which we'll be tying into our authentication system. We're going to do some groundwork today in that area. We want to be careful here because authentication is probably the thing you least want to screw up when building an app. An API bug that allows a user to accidentally double add an album to their list is a problem. An API bug that allows a malicious user to obtain someone else's login and nuke their account is a catastrophe. That's why we're not going to home roll this thing. It makes very little sense in the current era to build an entire authentication system up from scratch when so many of the various traps, problems, and gotchas that come with that endeavor have already been solved, repeatedly, by thousands of other developers. We're going to use an existing module called Passport, and it's going to help us keep things secure. We won't actually be able to create a user or log in just yet because we haven't built the API endpoints, but before we get to that point, we'll need to get Passport installed and integrated into our app. After that, in a separate tutorial, we'll build the endpoints and test them. Later, when we start building our front end, we'll create login and register components in React. So let's get going. We're going to need a couple of different dependencies, so instead of yarn adding each of them, let's edit package.json, add them there, and then do one yarn to install them all. Your package.json should currently look like this. We want to add 4 total lines to that. We'll put the first one under the Express line, since it's good practice to keep things in alphabetical order. Here it is. Express-session 1.10.1. Sorry for cutting and pasting in this video, but I want to keep it short. Express Session is a companion module that'll help us manage user sessions across page and API requests. Now add 3 more modules under the Morgan line. Here they are. Passport 0.3.2, Passport Local 1.0.0, Passport Local Mongoose 4.0.0. These 3 lines install Passport, which handles authentication of requests, Passport Local, which helps tie that authentication into Express, and Passport Local Mongoose, which simplifies talking to our database when logging in with a username and password. Okay, save this file, and then open a terminal or command prompt and cd to your music list directory, which I'm already in. Then just type yarn. That's it. Hit enter and yarn will run through your package.json and install any packages that it hasn't already installed. That means the 4 we just added. Excellent. Now let's tie them into Express. Back to Sublime Text, open app.js, and just below the line where we require Mongoose, line 7 to be specific, add the following code. Const passport equals require passport, const local strategy equals require passport-local.strategy. This is bringing in Passport and also a strategy constructor from Passport Local, which is an approach for connecting Express to our authentication setup. Now find the big block of app.use lines starting on line 24. Right under the cookie parser bit on line 28, add the following. Alright, that's a big one. App.use require express-session with configuration options. Secret, you can put any random string here. Resave false, save uninitialized false. App.use passport.initialize, app.use passport.session. These lines tell our app to use the Express Session middleware with some configuration options, along with Passport, including Passport's session management, which will partner up with Express Session. You probably noticed that secret line. Seems important, right? It is. Your secret is used to create a hash with which session requests are signed so that the server knows they're coming from the right place, i.e. not a malicious third-party attacker. Keeping such secrets in your GitHub repo, even a private one, is a bad idea, and I will shortly get you set up to avoid such problems. For now, it's okay because we're not committing code yet. Alright, find line 39, our API route, and underneath it add the following code. Const user equals require./model/user, passport.use, new local strategy, user.authenticate, passport.serialize user, user.serialize user, passport.deserialize user, user.deserialize user. Hey, look at that. We're using our user model. However, in order for our user model to be used, we need to change it a bit. We're done with app.js, so save that file. And then open up /model/user.js. Add the following code below the top 2 lines. Const passport local mongoose equals require passport-local-mongoose. Add the following code after our model definition. User.plugin passport local mongoose. Alright, save this file and we're done. Sort of. We've tied Passport into our app, but of course we haven't actually done anything with it yet. That'll require building out our API, and before that we need to talk about testing. We'll do that in the next tutorial. For now though, let's check and make sure nothing's broken. Head back to your terminal and type nodemon yarn start. Whoops, that's broken. Well, maybe it's not broken for you, but for many of us it will be. Why? because we don't have MongoDB running. And we now have an active database connection being made by our code, so when our app can't connect to the server, it crashes and burns. Open a new command prompt or terminal window, and start MongoDB up real quick. You can refer to our MongoDB tutorial for a reminder on how to do that if you need it. There we go, up and running. Now, NodeMon won't automatically restart our server here because we didn't change any code, but we can force it to restart by just typing rs enter in the terminal window. All right, once we're started, head for localhost port 3000. And this time it should display without crashing the server, which is always a plus. Awesome, you're all set. See you in the next tutorial.